Hey guys, it is Dragon H Babe back again, and it's time to pursue the Viddasala for a race against time, not for your own life, but reaching solace. Now, as you'll notice shortly here, the scenery around you, the images, will start to dull. Anchor meltdown. The anchor now builds up power even faster. Using it is difficult, but discharges all accumulated focus. If the focus reaches full power, the anchor discharges uncontrollably, damaging you and your allies as well as all nearby enemies. So you don't want that to happen. Now, as we continue on, you will realize...
Perhaps Solus can help.
You'll realize...
Solus doesn't want to hurt people. He isn't that kind of wolf. The Canary don't see.
Thanks, Cole. Anyways, the world around you will start to dull as your Inquisitor is dying, guys. This shit isn't gonna get better. Oh, by the way, sorry to anyone who hears explosives or gunshot sounds in the background. It is that season, the good old birthday of America, celebrated by Americans and the love of their guns involves setting off explosives. So that's just fireworks. No, there's not some redneck American gun hoedown going down outside. For all you foreigners, that shit does happen occasionally. Anyways, I'm getting pretty close. Now that's how much damage it does, by the way. Now this fucker is a boss right here. So that's why it didn't damage him much. That, and he actually blocked it with his shield. Now, as you can see, look how fast my focus is already built up in that short amount of time. So if you don't have third tier and only have single tier and you didn't update it at all, I feel very bad for you. The amount of time that's gonna fucking speed up here is a joke. Now I'm gonna save over that as I get closer, so I can get the closest save I can. And no, you do not defeat the Cerebos yet. That'll be the last thing up there by the hill where the Viddasala and Cerebos are. As you can see, that giant mass up by the Alluvium there is the Cerebos boss you have to defeat. Now I got a discharge here. Now, as you can see, if you manually discharge, you do not injure yourself or your companions. If you have an anchor meltdown, you will. So it is very important, and as you know, the more enemies you kill, the faster it builds focus, and in this case, you don't need to be doing anything. For example, if you were to just sit here with your game unpaused, your focus will continue to accumulate, and you'll probably have a couple meltdowns. So if you want to go pause, get some Mountain Dew and Doritos, the food of the gamer species, you will want to pause unless you want to damage your companions, which, why on earth would you want to do that on purpose? On purpose. I like how I said on purpose. As if you might want to. Why not? People are weird. How should I know? Maybe we have some masochists over here. Now, if you're doing this DLC and you don't have friendly fire on, I feel extremely bad for you. Now, each time you have a meltdown or trigger your anchor, as you can see, you will get shot backwards, sideways, forwards, etc. So it's pretty easy to fall off the map. So just a fair note about that. Alright, now that you fuckers are dead, as you can see, I'm spanning the shit out of that. I mean, the battle is over, and my focus is just going up and up and up. Okay, gonna make another save real quick. As I said, when I show you the different dialogue options, I want to have as little repeats as possible for that. And like I said, there will be a point where saving is just not gonna happen, so... Now this is the easiest spot to fall off the map right here. And if you do your anchor discharge, even though there are no primers in the Gatlock barrels, you will and can set them off, along with using a mage's electricity or fire ability. Well, you know what? It's okay I died there since the enemy is over here now. This is so fun to watch in slow motion. Well, it's funner when it works. As you can see, my companions are dropping dead like flies already, and we're full on health potions, which is just how fast these guys get you. My companions are told to take health potion if they are under 75% health, which nobody seems to be doing for some fucking reason. Go figure. Now, I'm probably gonna fall off the map here. We'll see. Oh shit, I didn't. What up? That was cool. That was really, really lucky, actually. I didn't mean to do that. Oh well, whatever. Now, you do want to keep your companions full health here as much as you possibly can. You will need it. Especially once you get to that Cerebos. There's a Gatlock barrel that I didn't prime, but even though I love blowing shit up for fun, if I don't need to, I'm not going to. Now, Cole, you didn't heal. Was it because you were moving or because you don't need it? Alright. You guys have to know this at this point, but if your companions are moving, or if you already have someone in the middle of the process of taking health potions, it sometimes can block off your character from taking one even though they need it. Now we're getting pretty close to the confrontation with Solus here. I believe it's, well, it's, not this Illuvian, but I believe it's the next one.
He's coming to stop us.
Maybe. Now this is where you want to spam the fuck out of your Fade abilities. This guy generates barriers, he hops around, and you don't want to deal with it. As you can see, level 27, and it hardly does shit. And in case you can't tell, kind of like Dragon Age 2, where Cerebus has control rods, she's giving it commands. And the Cerebus will produce barriers like that are completely impenetrable, and if I believe you can't enter, no, you can enter them, I guess. Weird. Alright. There you go, guys. Barriers. What? Really? Well, I'm going to need my Inquisitor, obviously, and of course my healer. I mean, duh. I mean, check that out. Cole is developing freaking threat and shields up in here. As you can see, that didn't even take down the Cerebus full barrier. Go figure, why would it? Yeah, of course you jumped away beforehand. Go figure. Now you do have to kill the Cerebus before you can proceed through the Illuvian. Go for these amulets! Or collar. I keep calling it Kitty's amulet. It's an amulet, but it's called Kitty's collar. As you can see, Cerebus still has about 25% health. When I'm saying this shit isn't easy, it's not. It gets worse. Now check this part out.
It seems the Cerebus is no longer following orders.
will not leave here, Inquisitor. Antam, Ibrasham
The Cerebath just went rogue. Or Cerebath, not Cerebath. Cerebath! Yeah! Frozen time! God, we're so close to the end here. I'm getting pumped! Finally! It's so close to the 4th of July. I'm glad I was able to get this in so soon. I'm sure you guys are too. God, waiting sucks. We all know that. Oh, there's some Gatlock over here, so I'm gonna go blow some shit up. Now, as you can see, the color is draining from the sky. That is a sign of your Inquisitor dying here. The world's getting blurry. Now, you're gonna have to fight one more Cerebus as you go through there, I believe. Which is your, second... Lovely. Gotta love trolls, am I right? Now, once you go through there, you're going to be at a very vital part. So, save very often for this. Though I'm sure you guys already figured that out by now. Without me needing to say it. Fucksters. Don't have to deal with that. Alright, come on, let's go. Now, as you can see, the further you get into this, the more damage you do. I'm gonna spam it again. Right, up, out. Alright, now. Backflips of death and exploding hands. And thank you to be color. You gotta love magical demon cats and basements of breweries and magical workshops. Yeah, I know that much. Thanks. Can I go up the stairs? Alright, guess I'm not close enough. I'm gonna go blow these bitches up. Before they start throwing their spears at me, I don't want to deal with it, so... Oh, lovely. Okay. Go. Alright, 75% of the time, Kitty's collar will revive you. We got 2 fates here, so that helps. Heck yeah, that was a nice explosion. Now that's how it's done. I mean, if your hand is gonna blow up, might as well, you know, blow up in style. Now we gotta kill this egghead over here real quick. I didn't mean to trigger that, but oops. What, you egg? Quote, quote, Shakespeare. Oh, you guys got this. Hurry up. There you go. Now, as you can see, there's multiple Illuvians. You're not gonna want to react with them or interact with them. I don't believe they have a purpose. I don't exactly remember ever trying to go through them. I guess I could real quick. As you can see, they're everywhere. Yeah, no kidding. It's funny. Just wait and see and what your comment...
One of these blasted mirrors has to lead out of here.
Yeah, as you can see, they just... Okay, so they apparently just transport you around here. Now, it's kind of obvious which mirror's gonna lead you out. Which one was all guarded heavily. That one up there. But I guess that's all they do. They just shoot you around. Ah, shit, I'm gonna fucking melt. Yup, meltdown. Shit. Shit, sorry, guys. Don't help me. I'm dead, bitch. Okay, see, we weren't in battle, so... Sorry, guys, I totally just blew your ass up. Alright, we are nearing Solus. This is the last battle before you reach Solus, by the way.
Time to finish this.
Thus the let's finish this.
You're dead, Inquisitor. Your soul is dust.
I believe the Cerebos is coming back. Yeah, I knew that. Now, as you can see, the lovely view of a person dying. Now, once you kill the Cerebos this time, you will pursue the Viddasala, so this is your last chance to save before you confront Solus, after the Cerebos is dead. And once you go through there, it will immediately enter a cutscene. I have been noting against spoilers the best of my ability, sorry. I mean, the Trespasser DLC is basically the definition of a spoiler. You're deciding the fate of the entire Inquisition and finding out you're getting actual closure, pretty much. God, even the freaking rage demon is barely vibrant, and they're on fire. And by the way, switching companions doesn't actually show you, like, life. Now, focus on the Cerebos to the best of your abilities, because the Cerebos will just generate more demons and more demons, so kill the Cerebos, the demons will die. I only killed that one off because it's just a wrath. Though wraths are very hard in this, even. Everything is hard in this. Oh, you shithead. Knock it off. I'm gonna get this up to, level 2 focus before I discharge. Alright, almost got it. 3, 2, there we go. Thank you, Kitty's Caller. Boom! And of course it still doesn't kill the Cerebos. I mean, that's that for you. You summoned as a... Really? Why? Of all the demons, why a pride demon? Oh, you bitch.
He's invulnerable. Use your mark.
You have to use your mark in order to actually kill him, by the way, though, I mean, it just said that. As you can see, the demon's dead. You don't have anything to loot. I'm gonna make one more save real quick in front of this beautiful Alluvian, which... Hint, hint here, along with the ones in the courtyard, you can't see anything through it. You get this weird opalish effect. Now, if you guys don't want to see the confrontation of Solus, it happens here. This is your big spoiler. Big spoiler. You find out Solus, blah, blah, blah. So, yep. Exactly. The truth is right here. After you find out the truth, you find out your fate, the fate of the Inquisition. Well, you choose the fate of the Inquisition, but blah, blah, blah. Anyways, this is the moment of truth. Now, in case you can't tell, your companions aren't here.
Your forces have failed. Leave now and tell the Canary to trouble me no further.
Wow, look who's here. It's the egghead.
Solus.
Aren't we all? I can't wait. Now, you will get a big hint as to what DA4 might be really quick here. It's a very easy to miss. You only unlock it if you have the Trespasser DLC. And you have to...
I suspect you have questions.
It's a post-credit scene.
The Kunari were trying to kill you. I wanted to get here first.
I know. They sought an agent of Fan Harel. I am no one's agent but my own. I fear that the truth is much simpler and much worse than the Kunari believe.
No kidding.
You're Fan Harel.
I was soulless first. Fan Harel came later.
Now, I can't pause
An insult
that,
I took
but
as a badge of pride.
I'm just gonna finish.
The
I'll
dread
explain
wolf inspired
afterwards.
hope in my friends, and fear in my enemies. Not unlike Inquisitor, I suppose. You also know the burden of a title that all but replaces your name.
Now, you have the option to punch him in the face. Say, blah, blah, blah. This punches him in the face. Now that I have a chance to talk, I'm going to do it now. You have the option. Now, when you say you're Fen Harel, that does not happen every time. You have to do certain quests. I can't remember off the top of my head which one, but you only say you're Fen Harel if you've unlocked certain codex going throughout it. And the Solus's robes are different because in the Temple of Mythal they had their traditional, in case you haven't told yet, or you should have figured it out by now, but Solus is the original elf before the fall. Before the Fade. Solus is Fen Harel. He created the veil between the worlds. He's immortal. Or not immortal, but they live forever, but they can die like any other human. He's wearing traditional elven robes, just like the elves in the temple. You'll see in a second here.
The Dalish legends about the evil trickster god are wrong. I saw the truth in the crossroads.
You saw another story, written in desperation to give me more credit than I ever deserved.
You were a hero, Solus.
I sought to set my people free from slavery to would-be gods. I broke the chains of all who wished to join me. The false gods called me Fen Harel, and when they finally went too far, I formed the veil and banished them forever. Thus I freed the elven people, and in so doing, destroyed their world.
By the way, if you choose what happens next, you block off the ability to ask any of these questions. So,
the Evanurus
bear that in mind.
How did they come to be remembered as gods?
Slowly. It started with a war. War breeds fear. Fear breeds a desire for simplicity. Good and evil, right and wrong. Chains of command. After the war ended, generals became respected elders, then kings, finally gods. The Evanurus.
You said that the elven gods went too far. What did they do that made you move against them?
They killed Mythal. Crime for which an eternity of torment is the only fitting punishment.
I thought Mythal was one of the Evanurus.
She was the best of them. She cared for her people. She protected them. She was a voice of reason. And in their lust for power, they killed her.
You banished the false gods. You didn't kill them.
You met Mythal, did you not? The first of my people do not die so easily.
The original
The Evanurus
elves.
are banished forever, paying the ultimate price for their misdeeds.
You love the Fade. Why would you create the veil to hide it all away?
Because every alternative was worse.
Meaning?
Had I not created the veil, the Evanurus would have destroyed the entire world.
How did creating the veil destroy the world?
The shattered library.
You saw the remains of Viddasala. The library was intrinsically tied to the Fade, and the veil destroyed it. There were countless other marvels, all dependent on the presence of the Fade, all destroyed. The elven legends of immortality, All true. It was not the arrival of humans that caused them to begin aging.
It's the veil.
It was me. The veil took everything from the elves. Even themselves.
That's the past. What about the future?
I lay in dark and dreaming sleep while countless wars and ages passed. I woke still weak a year before I joined you. My people fell for what I did to strike the Evanurus down. But still,
Ethenra, he
some
awoke.
hope remains for restoration.
The endless sleep. Like the Temple of Mythal Guardians.
People, even if it means this world must die.
Why does this world have to die for the elves to return?
A good question, but not one I will answer. You have always shown a thoughtfulness I respected. It would be too easy to tell you too much. I am not Corypheus. I take no joy in this. But the return of my people means the end of yours. It is my fight. You should be more concerned about the Inquisition. Your Inquisition. In stopping the Dragon's Breath, you have prevented an invasion by Qunari forces. With luck, they will return their focus to Tevinter. That should give you a few years of relative peace.
The Qunari said the Inquisition was unknowingly working for agents of Fen'Harel.
I gave no orders.
You led us to Skyhold.
Corypheus should have died unlocking my orb. When he survived, my plans were thrown into chaos. When you survived, I saw the Inquisition as the best hope this world had of stopping him. And you needed a home. Hence, Skyhold.
Now these choices don't block it off, I believe.
Whatever your reasons, we couldn't have defeated Corypheus without you.
Your doubts are misplaced. Everything you accomplished, you earned.
You control the Illuvians now?
Yes. You remember Viddasala from Halam Shiral? For a time, she controlled part of the labyrinth.
Bum bum bum.
One of my agents was supposed to take it from her, but he did not succeed. I had to override the magic personally.
If
the Qunari
Viddasala
stumbled upon this
survives.
section independently. With them gone, the Illuvians are now mine.
What's wrong with the Inquisition?
He's not going
You
to
created
make
a
them
powerful
slaves.
organization, and now it suffers the inevitable fate of such.
He freed.
Betrayal and corruption.
It's not that simple.
Do you know how I discovered the Qunari plot? The plot I disrupted by leading them to your doorstep. The Qunari spies in the Inquisition tripped over my spies in the Inquisition. The Elven Guard who led you to the Qunari body? Who intercepted the servant with the Gatlock barrel? Mine.
Charter? Shit.
Why bother disrupting
Liliana's
the Qunari
most
plot if you're going
trusted.
to destroy the world regardless?
You have shown me that there is value in this world, Inquisitor. I take no joy in what I must do. Until that day comes, I would see those recovering from the breach free of the Qun.
Why?
Because I am not a monster. If they must die, I would rather they die in comfort. In any event, it is done.
I guess we owe you for that one too.
I hope it gives your people some final peace.
There's still the matter of the anchor. It's getting worse.
Yes, I'm sorry. And we are almost out of time.
You know, I've never rivaled Solus.
The
I can't
marker
imagine
you
how
gave
much
me.
difference it
Drawing
is.
you here gave me the chance to save you. At least for now.
Now note this choice. It's one of those irreversible ones.
You don't need to destroy this world. I'll prove it to you.
I would treasure the chance to be wrong once again, my friend. Take my hand. I'm sorry. Live well, while time remains.
You'll see in a second here. Now, like I said, if you didn't save before, you're screwed, but here's this. This is where you decide the fate of the Inquisition. Now, I will go back to that save and skip through the dialogue with Solus in order to show you guys the different outcomes and what it has. Oh god, I'm so pumped! Okay. Whew, gotta breathe. Just fucking losing it.
Something must be done, but we cannot lose the Inquisition now. We stand on the brink of war with the Canary.
Yes, because this Solas provoked them in the first place.
The Inquisition did not cause this threat. We informed the Summit of the danger.
The danger posed by Canary spies inside your organization.
Without our organization, you would not be alive to complain.
No one has forgotten what you have done. But Corypheus is
Note how it doesn't show
dead.
her arm there.
If the Inquisition is to continue, it must do so as a legitimate
Boom!
organization.
Look at that
not a
shit.
glorified mercenary
No
band.
arm.
Inquisitor.
This is where you decide the fate of the Inquisition. I'll show you what each one says. The aggression. The Inquisition will be disbanded. Efforts against Solus will be weaker but more secure. Our work is done. The Inquisition will be disbanded. Efforts against Solus will be weaker but more secure. The Inquisition needs to end. The Inquisition will be disbanded. Efforts against Solus will be weaker but more secure. We serve the divine, not you. The Inquisition will serve divine. Victoria's efforts against Solus will be stronger but risk corruption. The Inquisition will serve divine Victoria. Efforts against Solus will be restored, but risk corruption. We need more oversight. The Inquisition will serve divine Victoria. Against Solus will be stronger. Now this is my favorite option. You'll see why.
You all know what this is? A writ from Divine Justinia authorizing the formation of the Inquisition. We pledge to close the breach, find those responsible, and restore order, with or without anyone's approval.
She still has that reaction.
We have
She's
fulfilled
divine.
that pledge. And now the war is over, for most of us. It is time for our soldiers to sheathe their swords and go home. To all who served, thank you. It has been an honor. Effective immediately, the Inquisition is disbanded.
Now, after I show you guys the epilogue and the post-credit secret scene, which, if you guys don't watch the credits, you will miss. Now, I believe you can fast forward, but after that, I'll go back, load my save, fast forward through Solus's bullshit, and then show you the other speeches. And the other outcomes. I've always disbanded it, so I actually don't know what happens if you keep it. The next chapter of his book, Swords and Shields, the shitty romance. Oh god, I'm gonna cry. I guarantee I'm going to do another Trespasser playthrough. Being in a romance with Solus and having Iron Bull remain with the King. So you guys can see the effects of little things like that. Oh god, I'm gonna lose my shit here. Okay. Time to figure out what the hell happened. In short order, the Inquisition was disbanded. Some were relieved to see the unpredictable organization dismantled. Others preferred to remember the Inquisition's good works and the many lives it had saved. Those who had served returned to their former lives, knowing they had stopped a great evil from destroying the world, and hoping that the peace for which they had fought remained once the Inquisition was gone. With the dragon's breath disrupted and any hope of a swift victory dashed, the Qunari retreated back to the north. Few knew what debates were waged in Parvalen, but no longer after the Exalted Council, the Qunari launched new attacks against Tevinter. Their aggression caught the already unstable Imperium off guard. Tevinter was soon mirrored in a war many feared could spread across Thedas. The Exalted Council remained intact. Advising Divine Victoria on important matters, Cassandra served for several years. While she often disagreed with Liliana's policies, the former right and left hands of the Divine shared a mutual respect and worked well together. Cassandra also spent the time in the Hunterthorn Mountains north of Orlais, where she worked to rebuild the Seekers. Now, she only rebuilds the Seekers if you did her personal quest, where you hunted down the missing Seekers. For a time, the new Seekers remained reclusive, showing no interest in worldly affairs and working to purpose few outside their order could guess. Now, this does automatically flip, by the way. With the Inquisition at an end, as it once had been, the few surviving mages who had served it found themselves nowhere to go, as I disbanded the circles. The Divine had declared the circles over, but something needed to take its place. Vivian led many of the old guard to form a new circle. Surprisingly, absolutely no one, when it immediately elected her as its Grand Enchanter. The remainder of the Inquisition's veteran mages formed a rival organization, the College of Enchanters. The two institutions settled into an uneasy coexistence across the south, vying for power. After the Exalted Council, Liliana devoted herself fully to the Sunburst throne and her dream of reshaping the Chantry. By the way, I chose to soften Liliana rather than harden her. That does affect how she rules. Within a year, she removed restrictions surrounding Chantry priesthood, allowing men and women of all races to be initiated and ordained. This decree was followed swiftly by her decision to return the Canticle of Charlatan to the canonical, chant, a move that divided Andrastians deeply. A rebellion to renounce her and return the Chantry to its formal state arose, beginning first in Orlais, then spreading to other parts of Thedas. Divine Victoria was resolute, holding her ground even after several unsuccessful attempts on her life. Seemingly unconcerned with the assassination attempts, she held up the hostility levels against her as proof that she was on the right path. With the Inquisition disbanded, Sarah joined the Inquisitor in officially retiring from scaring people in high places. Note the Inquisitor now has a crossbow arm. By formal account and agreement, both would lead boring, safe lives somewhere special doing not much at all. By the way, you only get to see the crossbow arm thing if you chose to become a Jenny. And with that comfortable lie, those in power continued their fragile lives as though all was back to normal. Meanwhile, Red Jenny, an entirely separate person, not at all collectively embodied by Sarah, the Inquisitor, and countless friends, continued to make a difference, or just have fun, where and when the impulse struck. With frequent visits to her Whittle, of course. Whittle is Dagna, by the way. Sarah and Dagna are in a relationship, in case you didn't know who Whittle was. Perhaps most unnerving was Sarah's standing offer to the Divine. When the knobs piss about with your left hand or right, call on Red Jenny to give them 2 fingers. Varric returned to Kirkwall, where as Viscount he resumed his work rebuilding the damaged city infrastructure. Under his rule, the city-state finally resumed its place as the major trade hub of the Free Marches. He continued to ignore all mail from both the merchant guilds and the Prince of Starkhaven. Now, by the way, I don't know if you didn't have the DLC with Sebastian, the Prince of Starkhaven. I don't know what happens if you didn't have that in Dragon Age 2. With the Inquisition disbanded, the Bull's charges returned to taking jogs throughout Orlais and Ferelden. Fighting demons and clearing out the remains of Venatori forces, the Iron Bull did his part to restore order to Thedas. After the Inquisition disbanded, Cullen and the Inquisitor retired to private life together. Unburdened by the restrictions of their offices, they continued doing good work on their own terms. That is, after a long overdue visit to Cullen's siblings, who were overjoyed to meet their new sister-in-law. Dorian returned to Deventer to take his father's place in the Magisterium. As rumors flew about the Imperium's infighting, Dorian was spoken of often as a voice of resistance against corruption. Along with Magister Maverus Tilani, he formed a group called the Lusarni to restore and redeem Deventer, a fight many thought was hopeless. Those fighting by Magister Pavus' side noted that he kept in constant communication with the Inquisitor via message crystal. Whether for vital information or for moral support, these talks seemed to give Dorian the strength to continue his fight. After the Exalted Council, Tom Rainier bid farewell to his friends and went to Weissopt Fortress to pledge himself to the Grey Wardens for good. While he was rarely seen in the years that followed, some said they encountered Rainier in far-flung lands, their accounts always similar. Rainier carried out the duty of the Wardens, but always found time to help others along the way. Sometimes he served as a shield for the defenseless. Other times he spread simple cheer among children with small gifts of carved toys. Kind of like the Griffin. With the Inquisition disbanded, Josephine made her farewells and returned to Antiva and her family. By the way, I did every single one of my companions' loyalty quests. So Josephine's is very different if you didn't do hers. She was soon approached by an agent from the House of Repose, whose assassins had been killed by Inquisition agents on Josephine's behalf. Far from being offended, the House of Repose was inquiring as to whether Josephine might have needs of their services. She quickly persuaded them she had no need for assassins, but instead hired them as guards for the Montilier's new trading vessels. Ravani pirates looking to rekindle an ancient feud soon learned that the Montilier's ships were not lightly boarded, and her house prospered greatly. Cole took to the road with Meriden to find a new life and a new way to be human. By the way, if Cole remained more spirit-like, he returns to the Fade, and nobody ever hears from him again. Wherever Meriden went to sing, people found old pains eased and hearts made happier, even if they didn't understand why. After the events at the Winter Palace, elves left the Inquisition under mysterious circumstances, as did elven servants across Thedas. None could say where they went, but those who believed the Inquisition story about Fen'Harel wondered just how large the Dread Wolf's forces were, and what the ancient elven rebel had planned. Bum bum bum! Note where that knife ends up, everyone. This is your hint at Dragon Age 4's plot. Repeat, watch that map, and note that shit.
My agents have found nothing. With the Illuvians, he could be anywhere.
With the Inquisition officially disbanded, we have no army, no formal alliances.
We have what we truly need.
We will need to be careful.
Solus knows everything about us. Who we are, how we work, our strengths and weaknesses.
Then we find people he doesn't know. We will save our friend from himself. If we can.
To Venter Imperium. to Winter Imperium, everyone. Note that. That is a heads up to the idea of where Dragon Age 4 is going to happen and what it will be about. To Winter Imperium, guys, we finally get our chance to learn more about the mysterious land of the mages. And note that the dot in Solus is not Solus, as in that's where they think Solus is. There is a town in Tevinter called Solus, which can be found on any Tevinter map in previous lores of the game. Now, I'm gonna see if I can skip this. Alright. To all of you who have played Dragon Age Inquisition, whom laughed, cried, and reached out on social media, those who made fan art and comics and cosplay and jokes, thank you. Dragon Age Inquisition was a labor of love. Without you, it would never have been possible. Your support and your passion touched us deeply. We hope that in some small way the game touched you as well. Bury your blade and raise it high. The Dragon Age team. And that, my lovely friends, is the magical wonders upon actual closure the Trespasser DLC offers. And with that, we have concluded the Trespasser DLC. Now, for those of you who don't care to know what the other speeches offer, I am going to show you what exactly the other speeches say. Now I'm going to go through every single speech. I'm going to start with the neutral thumbs up actions, and then I'll go to the aggressive and then the emotional. So yeah, there's gonna be a bit of backtracking here. I'll fast forward most of it. I doubt you guys really care. So since as I said, I'm gonna fast forward through a lot of this.
I suspect you have questions.
How were you able to control the anchor?
In the same way as when I stopped it from killing you at Haven. Although I am stronger now, the mark you bear was bestowed upon you by the Orb of Fen'Harel. My orb.
Your Fen'Harel?
I was Solus first. Fen'Harel came. The dread. You also know the burden of a title that all but replaces your name.
Now I'll show you guys what happens when you choose to attack him, because it's kind of funny.
You lied about everything!
Now he hurts you.
I understand your anger. In your position, I would share it.
Well, usually you end up punching him.
I sought to set my people free
maybe
from
that's a
slavery
different
to would-be gods.
part.
The false. Thus I freed the Elven people. And in so doing, destroyed their world.
Now I'm just not gonna ask those.
My people. I will save the Elven people. Even if it means this world must die.
Why did...
With luck, they will return their focus to Tevinter. Yes. The mark will eventually kill you.
Now, I really don't want to say this, and, well, actually, you know what, I'll say it and show you what happens.
If I live, I'm coming to stop you.
I hate choosing that, damn it.
I know.
If I were him, I wouldn't save me after that, especially since I tried to attack him this time.
I'm sorry.
Alright, now I'll keep, like I said, I never kept the Inquisition together before. Yeah, hurry up now. Gotta love the different speeches. Blah. Lovely.
Something must be done, but we cannot lose the Inquisition now. We stand on the brink of war with the Canary.
Yes, because this Solas provoked them in the first place.
The Inquisition did not cause this
If the Inquisition is to continue...
Inquisitor.
Now, like I said, I'm choosing the neutral actions first. The Inquisition will serve Divine Victoria. Efforts against Solus will be stronger, but risk corruption.
You all know what this is? A writ from Divine Justinia authorizing the formation of the Inquisition. We pledge to close the breach, find those responsible, and restore order, with or without anyone's approval. I'm proud to say we accomplished that goal. We will honor the sacrifices of those who gave their lives in defense of what we stood for, and still stand for. Because our work is not done. Where we led in war, we will now serve in peace. The Inquisition will act as Divine Victoria's personal honor guard. Answering directly to her, we will transition from a military force into a peacekeeping organization. My own adventuring days may be done, but the Inquisition and its mission will continue.
I like how I just fucking leave. Now notice if you don't disband the Inquisition, you take the book with you. So here's what happens if you keep the Inquisition. Banded, to be more specific. I'm not going to fast forward. As I said, I didn't do this before, so I'm not really sure how this scene might change. I apologize for any noise, by the way. I'm going to be eating an apple. If I remember correctly, whoever you're in a relationship with, if you're in a relationship, will be the last person to say. Otherwise, if you're not in a relationship, it'll be colon by default. Over the next several months, the Inquisition carefully gave over many of the duties it had held. As the Divine's personal guard and peacekeeping force, the Inquisition shrank to a more manageable size. Many who had served went home, though the remaining force was still enough to pause to any who might threaten the Divine's plans. Those who served the new Inquisition were tested and checked thoroughly, in the hopes of ferreting out any more spies within its ranks. With the Dragon's Breath disrupted, and any hope of a swift victory dashed, the Qunari retreated back to the north. Few knew what debates were waged in Parvalin, but not long after the Exalted Council, the Qunari launched new attacks against Tevinter. Their aggression caught the already unstable Imperium off guard. Tevinter was soon mirrored in a war many feared could spread across Thedas. The Exalted Council remained intact, advising Divine Victoria on important matters. Cassandra served for several years. While she often disagreed with Liliana's politics, the former right and left hands of the Divine showed a mutual respect and worked well together. Cassandra also spent time in the Hunterthorn Mountains north of Orlais, where she worked to rebuild the Seekers. For a time, the new Seekers remained reclusive, showing no interest in worldly affairs, and working to a purpose few outside their order could guess. With the Inquisition at an end, as it once had been, the few surviving mages who had served it found themselves with nowhere to go. The Divine had declared the circle over, but something needed to take its place. Vivian led many of the old guard to form a new circle, surprisingly, absolutely no one when it immediately elected her as its Grand Enchanter. The remaining of the Inquisitor's veteran mages formed a rival organization, the College of Enchanters. The two institutions settled into an uneasy coexistence across the south, vying for power. After the Exalted Council, Liliana devoted herself fully to the Sunburst throne in her dreams of reshaping the Chantry. Within a year, she removed restrictions surrounding chantry priesthood, allowing men and women of all races to be initiated and ordained. The decree was followed swiftly by her decision to return the Canticle of Charlatan to the canonical chant, a move that divided Andrastians deeply. Now, since I believe most of this is going to be the same, I'm going to say what it was. In case you don't know what the Canticle of Charlatan is, that is the part where it talked about the elves being Andraste's servants and fighting alongside her. Charlatan was the elf that was one of Andraste's most trusted. It was removed due to the fact about, well, mainly the purging of Alam Shral, etc., etc. A lot of reasons why, as elves were looked down upon, treated poorly, etc. With the Inquisition now answering the Divine, Sarah joined the Inquisition and officially retiring from scaring people in high places. By formal account and agreement, both would lead boring, safe lives, nowhere special, doing nothing much at all. And with that comforting lie, those in power continued their fragile lives as though all were back to normal. Meanwhile, Red Jenny, an entirely separate person, not at all collectively embodied by Sarah the Inquisitor and countless friends, continued to make a difference, or just have fun, where and when the impulse struck, with frequent visits to her widow, of course. Perhaps most unnerving was Sarah's standing offer to the Divine. When the knobs piss about with your left hand or right, call on Red Jenny to give them 2 fingers. Reg returned to Kirkwall, where, as Viscount, he resumed his work to build city infrastructure. Under his rule, the city-state finally resumed its place as the major trade hub of the Free Marches. He continued to ignore all mail from both the Merchants Guild and the Princess Darkhaven. With the Inquisition in its new role, the Bill's charges returned to taking jobs throughout Orlais and Ferelden. Fighting demons and clearing out the remains of Venatori forces, the Iron Bull did his part to restore order to Thedas. After the Inquisition transitioned to a peacekeeping role, Cullen and the Inquisitor were able to spend more time together. Cullen continued to serve as commander of the Inquisition forces, aiding the Inquisitor in service to Divine Victoria. That is, after a long overdue visit to Cullen's siblings, who were overjoyed to meet their new sister-in-law. Dorian returned to Deventer to take his father's place in the Magisterium. As rumors flew about the Imperium's infighting, Dorian was spoken often as a voice of resistance against corruption. Along with Magister Maverus Talani, he formed a group called the Lucerni to restore and redeem Deventer, a fight many thought hopeless. Those fighting by Magister Pavus' side noted that he kept in constant communication with the Inquisitor via message crystal. Whether for vital information or for moral support, these talks seemed to give Dorian the strength to continue his fight. After the Exalted Council, Tom Rainier bid farewell to his friends and went to Wysop Fortress to pledge himself to the Grey Wardens for good. While he was rarely seen in the years that followed, some said they encountered Rainier in far-flung lands, their accounts always similar. Rainier carried about the duties of the Wardens, but always found time to help others along the way. Sometimes he served as a shield for the defenseless. Other times he spread simple cheer among children with gifts of small carved toys. After easing the Inquisition's transition into the Chantry, Josephine returned to Antiva and her family. She was soon approached by an agent from the House of Repose, whose assassins had been killed by Inquisition agents on Josephine's behalf. By the way, when it says the assassins were killed, that's if, instead of choosing the really long, peaceful way where you have to, bring the people who aren't nobles anymore and make them nobles and blah blah blah. If you just choose Liliana and choose to assassinate them, that's how you get this outcome. She quickly persuaded them she had no need for assassins, blah blah blah. I'm gonna stop reading these because it's going to be the same from this part. If it's different, I'll read it, but... Anyways, from the rest of this, I am going to fast forward through the epilogue reading, as it's going to be all the same, as you've seen the differences between disbanding the Inquisition or keeping it. This part is different, though.
My agents have found nothing. With the Illuvians, he could be anywhere.
Maintaining the Inquisition, even as a peacekeeping force, leaves us vulnerable to agents of the Dread Wolf.
But also gives us the strength to respond.
We will need to be careful.
Solus knows everything about us. Who we are, how we work, our strengths, and weaknesses.
Then we find people he doesn't know. We will stop Solus, by any means necessary.
Since I chose to stop him, that's why the quote is different at the end. And notice how since you're now a peacekeeping organization, instead of wearing your armor, you're wearing diplomatic clothes. Anyways, like I said, I'm going to skip forward everything except the speeches from this point because the rest of it isn't going to change. It's just the emotional tone you want to make and the different speeches you say. Oh god, this is really fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the Trespasser DLC as much as I did. As you can see, I think you can understand why I had so much freaking hype about it. I mean, it really should have been part of the base game. This DLC is so worth it. I honestly recommend I do recommend every single person who cares about Dragon Age, cares about the lore, you need to get this DLC and play it for yourself. Every little action you made throughout the entire game has a different effect. Very importantly with Iron Bull, if you let him romance Dorian or not, who you elected divine, every little damn thing you chose.
You have questions.
The Kunari were trying to kill.
I know.
Are you a fragment of what Fen'Harel once was? Like Mythal?
No. This is all I have ever been.
And the legends?
I sought to set my people free, the false. Thus I freed the elven people.
Now I played that part because I chose a different choice.
Past.
I'll do that with the next one too.
I will save the elven people. Even if it means this world must
And this
die.
one's different too.
Solus, whatever you want, this world dying is not the answer.
Not a good answer. Sometimes terrible choices are all that remain. It is my fight. You with luck, they will return their...
You don't need to destroy...
I would...
Alright, let's hurry up to the speech. Ebola. I'm just gonna start by finishing all of the ones that are keeping the Inquisition, then going back to the ones where you disband it, because I just wanted to show you the difference of the two choices with the most neutral reaction. First of all, for those of you who don't care to see every single speech, I just wanted to show you the differences between the two sides. So for the rest of these, it's just purely for the speeches. There's not going to be anything different in the comments. It's just simply how your speech sounds, what emotion
Something must be done.
you devote.
But we cannot lose the Inquisition now. We stand on the brink of war with the Kunari.
Yes, because this Solus provoked them in the first place.
The Inquisition did not cause... Inquisitor.
We'll do the aggressive.
You all know what this is? A writ. From Divine Justinian authorizing the formation of the
It's not really about
Inquisition.
saving the elves. It's more about...
We pledge to close the breach, find those responsible, and
He wants to restore the old world. He wants to take down the veil.
The Inquisition saved the people of Ferelden when you couldn't. We are not disbanding. And we are certainly not submitting to an emperor who only sits on his throne because we put him there.
Gaspard is the ruler in my
There's worse
case.
coming than anything you've yet seen. So we'll play nice. We'll bow. But not to you.
The Inquisition will act as Divine Victoria's personal honor guard. Answering directly to her, we will transition from a military force into a peacekeeping organization. My own adventuring days may be done, but the Inquisition and its mission will continue.
fast forward time since it'll all be the same. I think it's funny just putting the nobles in their place, just going, look, I'm not gonna bow to your fucking emperor just because his ass is on the throne, and I'm not gonna deal with you Ferelden's who are incapable of protecting your own fucking people. Just like, you know what, fuck you guys. Sorry guys, since I'm live streaming it due to the extreme amount of space it takes to make the video, I would cut it out, but the editing when you live stream it doesn't work the same, as you guys know, well, if you've ever tried to do it. I'll show you how different it is if you're in a romance with Solas. Now, spoiler alert for Sylvain fans. Quote, quote, cough, cough. I will stay silent for the moment. I guess you can't skip the scene. Anyways, bum, bum, bum. If you're in a relationship with Solas, I am like 80% sure either at the very end of Inquisition or at the end of the Trespasser DLC, you have a dream about a wolf stalking you in the background. I think it's both that touches on it, but you awake from a dream swearing he was there.
Who we are, how we work, our strengths.
So I have made a Trespasser DLC thing in the background. It is absolute shit. I don't have any voice commentary, and the parts are all fucked. So I will be doing it live stream style, breaking it up just as I did with this one. And I'll probably do a just whole video playthrough of the Solas romance with his scenes and shit. As you can see, he plays such a big role in the entire fate of the Inquisition and the potential plot of Dragon Age 4, should they choose to continue it. Now, just how this ends, it totally fucks with you. Is Dragon Age, are you going to keep your Inquisitor? What's happening? Guess we'll never know. We'll have to wait and see. Technically, Dragon Age 4 isn't even confirmed, guys. It's just the creator, or I guess editor, or basically the guy that was on the team of Fallen London and Sunless Seas. He took over for Mike Lawland, I believe, was it, who quit the Dragon Age team?
I suspect you have questions.
The Kunari believe you're an agent.
The Kunari reject myth and legend. If you told them of your meeting with Mythal, they would attribute it to a demon. I am no one's agent but my own.
I saw the stories as we traveled through the Alluvians. Are they true?
They are closer than the Dalish legends, though still prone to making me into something more than I am.
I'm so sorry, Solas. What you've seen, I can't imagine.
I sought to set my people free. I will save the Elven people. Even... It is my fight. You should be more concerned about the Inquisition. Your Inquisition.
Something must be done, but we cannot lose the Inquisition now. We stand on the brink of war with the Qunari.
Yes, because this Solas provoked them in the first place.
The Inquisition did not call... Inquisitor.
You all know what this is? A writ. From Divine Justinia authorizing the formation of the Inquisition. We pledge to close the breach, find those responsible, and restore order, with or without anyone's approval. You're right, Altegan, we are dangerous. We've been deceived and we've made mistakes. You're right as well, Duke Cyril. These are the growing pains of a young organization in need of guidance. But you would both have the Inquisition bow to your agenda, and that is precisely what we cannot do. The Inquisition will act as Divine Victoria's personal honor guard. Answering directly to her, we will transition from a military force into a peacekeeping organization. My own adventuring days may be done, but the Inquisition and its mission will continue.
Alright, 2 speeches left, and that's all the speeches covered, and will be the official, complete closing. Like I said, none of these are different, so I'm just gonna keep going through them. And I'm sorry about this, but like I said before, this scene right here is unskippable, or unskippable.
My agents have found nothing. With the Illuvians, he could be anywhere.
Maintaining the Inquisition, even as a peacekeeping force, leaves us vulnerable to agents of the Dread Wolf.
But also gives us the strength to respond.
We will need to be careful.
Solus knows everything about us. Who we are, how we work, our strengths, and weaknesses.
Then we find people he doesn't know. We will save our friend from himself. If we can.
This will be the aggressive disbanding of the Inquisition speech, and then after that the emotional one, and then we will be completely done.
I suspect you have questions. The Dread Wolf inspired hope in my friends, and fear in my enemies. Not unlike Inquisitor, I suppose. The false gods called me Fen'Harel. I will save the Elven people, even if it means... It is my fight. You should be more concerned about the Inquisition. Your Inquisition.
agree something must be done, but we cannot lose the Inquisition now. We stand on the brink of war with the Canary.
Yes, because this Solas provoked them in the first place.
The Inquisition did not call... Inquisitor.
You all know what this is?
The aggressive disbanding.
A writ from Divine Justinia authorizing the formation of the Inquisition. We pledge to close the breach, find those responsible, and restore order, with or without anyone's approval. It wasn't a formally authorized treaty that saved Ferelden's people. It wasn't careful diplomacy that ended your inane civil war. It was never about the organization. It was about people doing what was necessary. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a world to save. Again.
That is
effective immediately.
Badass
the Inquisition is disbanded.
Speech. You dropped that book. Divine Victoria jumps to her speech. Damn. I'm glad I chose to do all the speeches. That's the first time I've done that one. Personally, I prefer not to watch any other YouTube gamers or any gaming videos until I played a game to myself. For example, I have honestly only seen one of PewDiePie's videos ever because I just simply don't find any joy in watching other gamers play a game unless it's a game that I know I can't play myself. The reason why I broadcast isn't for entertainment purposes, but for those who, for example, maybe can't afford to play the game, don't have a console, or just simply want to know what happens, what it's about, etc. You don't have the DLC, whatever. I simply do it for those who don't get the chance to experience it themselves. That's the philosophy I have personally about gaming and recording videos. I just think everyone should have the chance to experience it. I don't think it's fair that, you know, I mean, circumstances, everyone has circumstances that might prevent them from playing.
My agents have found nothing. With the Illuvians, he could be
and
anywhere.
I just want everyone to
With the
experience
Inquisition officially disbanded, we have no army, no
this
formal alliances.
masterpiece work of a game for
we
themselves.
have what we truly need.
And if they can't do it for
We will
themselves,
need
then
to
I
be
wish
careful.
to provide to the
Solus
best
knows
of my
everything
ability
about us, who we are, how we
to
work,
show you how
our
it is, how it
strengths
works.
and weaknesses.
Then we find people he doesn't know. We will save our friend from himself. If we can.
And one more speech, the emotional disbandment. Press 277262 to attack. Now, I wonder if that's a glitch or something, or an error. I mean, what the hell is that supposed to be? Weird. Alright, well, I caught something interesting in a loading screen of endless waiting in order to show you guys everything possible. But I just want to show you guys every possible experience, every question, every possible answer if I can. And that's precisely what I'm doing.
I suspect you have questions. You also know the burden of a type. I will save the elven people, even if it means it is my fight. You should be more concerned about the Inquisition, your Inquisition.
agree something must be done, but we cannot lose the Inquisition now. We stand on the brink of war with the Canary.
Yes, because this Solas provoked them in the first place.
The Inquisition did not cause...
Inquisitor. This is the final of the 6 possible speeches, the emotional disbandment.
You all know what this is? A writ from Divine Justinia authorizing the formation of the Inquisition. We pledge to close the breach, find those responsible, and restore order, with or without anyone's approval. But if the Inquisition now threatens the very stability it helped create, it is clear our time is done. We will not become what we once fought against. We do not have the luxury of corruption and complacency. If this organization has become too large to do its job, there is only one solution. Effective immediately, the Inquisition is disbanded.
I always kind of wondered how much the nobles bet on the wagers of if the Inquisition would continue or disband. I'd just like to know like how much they made or lost based on my choices. I think it'd be kind of funny. And let this be the final end of the Trespasser DLC broadcasting series.
Found nothing. With the Illuvians, he could be anywhere.
For now,
with the Inquisition officially
and until next time,
no army, no formal alliances.
Let the lovely Dragon Age babe and the fans be happy with the peace of closure and the faith of the Inquisition. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Let the flame extinguish and the beast sleep. Let the brace of Euthenral embrace us until next time. Whatcha? See you later, everyone.